like Tata Power has rallied about 3% odd. Any brokerages reacting to this news that you gave us?
Well, Sonia, on this particular issue of DRC raising the surcharge, most of the brokerages believe that it's in most cases it's just a pass through. It will at best be a working capital beneficial to the company. It's all in all, it's revenue and profit neutral for the company. Remember, they have already regulated assets of about 5,000 crores in the Delhi circle, which the government needs to pay them, and so they don't see this as an incremental positive. They're mostly writing on this 30% stake which the company has sold in the Atrumia mines. They're in mixed views coming in from brokerages. Edelweiss, for example, has called this a positive move. It said that it partially negates the coal mine profit which would have taken away from the compensatory tariff which Tata Power had got for CRC. However, Morgan Stanley has actually raised some questions. They have an underweight rating on the stock. They believe that despite this move, they are actually questioning the fact that what will be the payment terms with respect to this news. Is it an all cash deal? Will the payments be staggered? So we don't know if the interim benefit is actually something that will come to the company in terms of cash. Also, they believe that has the company done this as a stress asset stake sale? They believe that there's possibly a hope of losing the chances of favorable CERC order. So maybe it's because of that. But all in all, the fact that the debt stands at such a high level, the company will definitely get in some cash because of this deleveraging, which is what has gotten a thumbs up from brokerages.
Yeah, absolutely. At the moment, 2% higher. Pragya, well,
biggest loser on the index now is Bharti. The auction kickstarts today. So Rima is also here with us. She'll give us an update on how many of these telecom companies might do this time around. Rima, go ahead.
Thanks for that, Sonia. If you remember, the previous two auctions, the one in November 2012 as well as in March 2013, were a damn squib. But this time around, analysts are saying that this auction is going to be different. Two key reasons. One, the reserve price is significantly lower than what we saw in the previous auction. And secondly, the quantum of spectrum which is going to be auctioned is also much higher. So in that case, the current spectrum auction is different from the previous. And analysts are expecting more rational bidding to come from the operators for the 1800 megahertz, though for 900 megahertz, it could get a little bit aggressive. The big fear, the wild card in the market, will be what Reliance Jio does. Remember, they've put in a significant amount of earnest money on bank guarantees for this auction, which implies that it is seriously in the fray. Currently, analysts are expecting that there is a possibility they will go for a pan-India 1800 megahertz. They will look to acquire 1800 megahertz pan-India spectrum. The key question is whether they will go for 900 megahertz. If they do, then there is a possibility of competition significantly overheating, and the operators like Bharti, Vodafone, etc. having to shell out a lot more for 900 megahertz. So brokerages, quickly to run you through with their expectations, Morgan Stanley says they expect the auctions to happen at a 20% premium. The government could raise even 200 billion rupees upfront from the auction because they have an option of paying it upfront. Goldman Sachs says that overbidding is possible at 900 megahertz only if 4 telcos bid for the 3 bands. That's particularly if RelJio enters into the fray.
All right, Rima. Clearly, the markets are expressing their trepidation about that possible 900 megahertz spectrum getting, bid a little more aggressively. Sonia, is TVS showing anything positive after the good numbers?
Well, it is. It's up about 3% today on the back of the good sales. Like I was mentioning, scooter sales up by 19%, three-wheeler sales up by 52%, and big boost coming in from exports this time around. So strong January sales for TVS Motor. So now it's up about close to 18% in the last 6 trading sessions. I also want to point out that Maruti is up almost about 1% after those clarifications from the management. Most brokerages also maintaining their positive stance on the stock. So that stock is reacting well despite the December sales, or rather the January sales being slightly lower than estimated. Those are Bajaj Auto sales numbers that are coming in. 3.18 lakh units versus 2.97 lakh units on a month-on-month basis. So that looks like a good jump for Bajaj Auto month-on-month. But let's see a breakup. Last time it was propelled purely by exports because there was a big 20% dip in domestic sales. This time around, let's see how the export numbers come out. But for now, the prima facie numbers look good. 3.18 lakh units versus 2.97. That's the CV sales that they've reported, or the three-wheeler sales, 36,781. So slight dip on a month-on-month basis. Motorcycle sales are higher, so that would have helped on a month-on-month basis. Stock is holding up as well, up about 1.5%. So let's go across. We have Oberoi Realty too that's reacting poorly to its numbers. But before that, I want to go to Ekta. Ekta, a couple of these banks, are under quite a bit of pressure. So there is Bank of Maharashtra, as you pointed out. There's IDBI Bank. And you also talked about ING Vysya Bank before the show. You were telling me about how the growth, NII, core growth has slipped considerably for them.
Well, Sonia, absolutely. ING actually was quite a disappointment from the private banking space because there was expectations that at least the profitability would be quite robust. So the profit is up only 3% year on year this time round for ING. We have the NII also, which grew a subdued 3%. The core income was quite strong, but the bank did undertake some interest income reversals this quarter, and hence you saw the net interest margins which fell 10 basis points to around 3.3% levels this quarter as well. So overall, for something like an ING, which is one of the stalwarts within the private banking space, at least when it comes out with its numbers, it was quite disappointing to see a subdued set of numbers coming in from there. But IDBI Bank also was quite weak, where they had the profits which fell 75% Y on Y, and it wasn't only because of provisions, it was because the operating profits fell around 20% this quarter, and not to mention that other income was down 40% on a year-on-year basis. So that's the reason why you saw the profitability fall 75%, despite the fact that provisions also were higher, only but by 7% Y on Y. Bank of Maharashtra, weak set of numbers, profitability down a whopping 92%, and you had asset quality which worsened, gross NPA, net NPA, both of them up 43%.
Absolutely. Let's talk about one green stock then. Up 2.5% is United Spirits, Nimesh.
Sorry, Lata, we're not surprised with this move. Clearly we spoke about this possibility of why 2400, 2450 will work out as a base for the United Spirits stock. Simply because now Diageo has bought additional 35 lakh shares from the open market on Friday's split from Oppenheimer Fund. So with the November buyout and Friday's buy, they've actually acquired 3.5% stake in United Spirits via creeping acquisition. This means that they have a headroom of another 1.5% from the open market till March that they may probably do. So the general sense from the street is that with Diageo intending to buy additional shares from the open market, the stock will see a base around 2450, 2500 levels from here on. The only concern for the street right now is the fact that a lot of the shares of the promoters are with the lenders as pledge shares, and that lenders are actually looking to sell in the open market as the stock goes up. So you might see a bit of volatility, but on the downside, at least the message from the street is that 2400, 2450 seems to be a pretty strong base for the stock for the time being, for the fact that Diageo is looking to buy from the open market as and when the stock comes down to these levels.
All right. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. That's the top 10, and it's moved as predicted. Just to run you through, HDFC is a stock, of course, which you will really watch because there's so much activity there. Bharti and Idea clearly under pressure because probably the 900 megahertz spectrum is going to be seeing some aggressive bidding. Maruti somewhat mollified, looks like. TVS up and about after the good January numbers. Tata Power up. There's money in the bag after sales of those assets in Indonesia. Oberoi Realty down terribly actually because of the performance in the third quarter. United Spirits up again, support from Diageo. IDFC, Bank of Maharashtra, all those stocks. Well, IDFC is not showing so much of a tremor, but Bank of Maharashtra clearly showing a lot. IDBI is what you should watch out for, which along with Bank of Maharashtra is showing deep cuts because of the performance in the third quarter. Really bad numbers if you look at the asset quality. The market